Why you should never ever take someone's child into your house, home, or private space. Tough love by hashtag Supermama hashtag tell the boy child the truth Supermama stories.
A boy who was in college. I will call him X. So once I was living in Mombasa, at the time I was working for Mobicom. It was a dealer for Safaricom, and it was amongst the best. So I was living in Mombasa. So where I was living, there was this boy, X, and he was an engineering student at the university. So he loved kids so much. All the kids loved him. And when he could come, he would play with them, carry them, throw them in the air, bring them chips, bring them, dance with them and everything. And everyone knew that he loved kids. He just had this bond with kids that was very rare. So X loved kids, and the kids used to run to him when they're crying, when they've been beaten, when they want something. So, almost like, it's a natural thing. He wasn't pretending or anything. So, it was a very good thing. We used to admire him for that. So one day, X came back from college. He was in his fourth year engineering. And when he came back, he was sitting in his room with his computer doing some assignment, and he had a child crying. So the child was crying like the kid he was in pain. She was in pain, and so he got out and he found the girl, and he asked her, "Why are you crying?" The girl was crying, so he ran towards her. He checked. He hugged her. Then he didn't go back. He didn't even lock his jaw. He went to find something to buy for her, maybe to calm her down. So he put her on his shoulder, and he was, like shaking her, as petting her for her to calm down, swinging her, trying all manner of tricks. As he went to the shop, so he went to the chips shop, and he bought some chips for her. And then he went to the other shop. He bought a soda, and he came back. So when he came back to the house, he kept swinging her. So he came back to the house. He tried to feed her, and she didn't eat. She ate like 2 pieces of chips, and she fell asleep. So she put the little girl on his bed, covered her with a bed sheet because Mombasa is kind of hot. And then he went to continue with his homework, hoping that the mother will come for the girl later. So when the mother came for the girl, there was no one in the whole plot. It was only him, so it was quiet. So once she slept, he had his peace of mind. He was able to do his homework. So his mother came. The girl's mother came and found the compound was quiet. She was looking for her daughter, and so she was shouting, her name. I don't want to. Let me just call her Mary. So she was like, Mary, Mary, and So she went looking around, and all the doors were closed. But when she came to Mr. X's house, she found that the door was open. And he was like, she's here, she's asleep. Come in, come in. And so she came in and found a soda, a sausage, and chips on the table. So he said, I had even bought her this. She was crying, so I bembelezed her, and I put her to sleep. So he opened the curtain for her and told her, here she is. You can just take her with you now. And then she carried the baby, and then he gave her the chips and the sausage and the soda to carry with her because they were the girl's things, so that when she wakes up, she can give her. So the mother went, and as she was walking with the child to her own house, the child woke up and started crying again. This time even more loudly. So she said, what is it? The child was very uncomfortable and all that. And when she checked the girl, she found that the girl had been raped. Seriously raped. You know, huku mbele and na nyuma. The girl had been raped in front and behind. You see. That was, for any parent, that is a very traumatic thing. So she screamed and she was like, what? So she ran towards Mr. X's house and she just jumped on him. Then she started screaming at him and calling the neighbors. So people were attracted and came. When people came running, everyone was like, yeah, we saw him trying to shake her and trying to baby her and buying her things to make her quiet. You see? So already that was evidence that it is actually Mr. X who had. Everyone who had seen Mr. X walking around with the baby, trying to make her quiet, asking her, do you want lollipop? Do you want this? Do you want that? And she says, she just shakes her head. Then eventually everyone in the shopping center saw. Well, the way fate can have it. So the woman believed it was Mr. X who raped her daughter. So she ran to the police station. She reported the boy, and the boy was arrested. It was so sad. What that boy went through. And in these cases, the child is never allowed to speak. Now, the parents had to sell their car. They went and sold part of their shamba and all that. The funny thing is that they never went to match, like Mr. X's. They never took samples from him to try and test, to find out whether it is actually him who raped the baby. But believe you me, the baby had been raped by someone else. That is why she was coming crying. And Mr. X did not have I don't know whether he never checked her privates. And even so, as a judge, wouldn't you ask, if you were to rape the kid who lives in the same plot as you, would you rape her and put her there and go moving around looking for soda and chips? I mean, do you have how stupid can you be? Go getting all that evidence that you're the one who was shaking her, walking with her, trying to get her to keep quiet, trying to look for something to buy for her, or yogurt, you're asking for yogurt, you're asking for mangoes, you're asking for what? Everyone sees you. And then you bring her back and make her sleep. And then when the mother comes, you're like, hey, she's actually here in my bed. That boy, a very bright boy, is still in prison to date. Because the child was not allowed to testify. The child was only 4 years old. She can't talk properly. Number 2, who wants to know? So boy child, be careful with people's children, especially girls, young girls. Don't make yourself so lovey-lovey with small girls. You're the one who knows how to hug them and carry them around. Don't. Say hi to a girl. If you're playing with her, play with her in public. Love them, but from afar. Do not invite a girl into your house. Do not carry anybody's baby into your house. Because you're building a case for yourself. No one will want to know. People have suffered because of letting a child just watch telly in your house and you get arrested for it because she's underage. Don't let yourself into trouble because of acting like you love too much. Don't. Stay away from. In fact, right now, it doesn't even matter whether it's a boy or a girl. Don't bring children into your house. You can bring yourself a lot of trouble. Boy, child, don't be stupid. That boy, Mr. X, never finished his engineering course. He's been in prison for more than 5 years now. And I'm not sure, because I left Mombasa some time back. I'm not sure where he is. But that thing must up his kindness, the goodness of his heart. Even the people who saw him, instead of saying, okay, fine, he was buying, but he was buying. Why would you say that he was buying those things just to shut the kid up?